welcome. I'm Rachel,
I'm Amanda.
and this is episode 6 of Books and Bingos. This week, we are recommending books that feature memorable moms. So, Amanda, was your mom a reader growing up?
Yes, both of my parents are former teachers and big readers. And unfortunately, when I was younger, I did not take up that pastime. So I did end up becoming a reader later, but I always used to sit and watch my parents read and be like, why don't I like this?
That's
What about you?
funny. I have always been a reader. My mom was a big reader when I grew up, and I was a very slow reader. So all my teachers just recommended, read, read, read to my mom. So we made frequent trips to the library, getting books all the time, get big stacks of books, and we'd read them and take them back. And now I think later in life, my dad's really getting into it too. So all of us can sit around and read together sometimes, which is really fun, a little family reading moment.
Yes, I do that too with my parents, and I love it.
It's nice. It's a very peaceful way of being all together, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, Amanda, tell us about your first pick.
My first pick is called In Search of Us by Ava Dellaria. And this is a young adult book that features a dual timeline story from a mother and daughter's perspective. But it's both when they are 17 years old. We start the book in the present time with the mother being 34 and the daughter being 17. And there's a lot of things going on with the daughter. She is really struggling to deal with her own self-identity as someone that has never known or really learned anything about her father. So when she learns that her father's brother is alive and living in California, she starts to question her mother's all like everything that her mother has ever told her. So her mother, when we get her chapters, she is 17 and she is falling in love with her daughter's father during that summer. And so we just kind of get to see the journey. When the daughter realizes that her uncle is alive and potentially her father, because she starts to think maybe her mom lied about that too. She takes a road trip with her ex-boyfriend to LA to get some answers. So this one, it was just such a good coming of age story. It does deal with some heavy topics such as racism, parental death, police brutality, unplanned pregnancy, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, assault, and murder. And while those are very, very serious topics, they do not come into play into the book till towards the end. So I would highly recommend this one if you are wanting to explore the complex relationship that can be between a mother and a daughter. And it kind of has summer vibes because there's a road trip involved. It does deal with the racism part because the daughter is mixed race. This one would fit great in our young adult square on Bingo. Realistic fiction, and I'm going to say historical fiction because the mom's point of view is in the 90s when we were growing up. And so it does have a lot of references to clothing and the music and all of that stuff, which I really found nostalgic. I also listened to it on audiobook and it was very well done.
I'd be very excited to hear about the 90s reflection part. That would be fun,
Yeah,
especially all the music. And I love a dual timeline, especially with like family members or closely related people. That's always so interesting to see that parallel there.
it is. I love dual timelines, and I hadn't really read one that was where it explores this particular topic of a mother and a daughter both at 17. So definitely an intriguing story. I gave it 5 stars. So
Wonderful. Well, my next one's definitely a 5 star for me. It's my favorite book ever, which I even mentioned, I think, last week. It's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is the first book I thought of when I decided we were having the mother's theme this week, because the mother is one of the standout characters of this book. She is both infuriating and completely endearing, I think. We have this woman who is, for the time, expected to be kind of uneducated and just following what she's told to do. But she has these 4 daughters who are all not going to be getting an inheritance since they're female. So she needs to get them all married off and hopefully married off very well. So she's always talking about her poor nerves, but she always gets distracted by a single man anywhere that might be interested in her daughter. And I think she's one of the best characters because she's so recognizable. Like when she starts talking, you can always tell it's her, even when it doesn't directly say it's the mother talking. She's a very flushed out character, even if she's sometimes very annoying. It's hilarious to me. I love the mother in Pride and Prejudice. And again, one of my favorite books ever. So I'm super excited to recommend that one this time.
I would like you to tell our listeners how many copies you have of Pride and Prejudice with various covers, please.
I think I'm up to like 26 copies.
That's
Anytime I
insane.
see a different copy, I buy it. I can't help it. I collect them. Literally have one sitting right next to me that I bought a couple of months ago that was new. Let me see if I can get it out here. I can show you, Amanda.
That is so awesome. I
There's my
love
new one.
such a pretty cover. That's the thing about all of the classics. They redo the covers so
Yes.
beautifully.
And this is the Puffin and Bloom series. They put a few of those out all the time, and oh my gosh, they're so pretty. I think I have like the Little Women one, and I have there's another one, Heidi. They're so
Yeah.
cute, those Puffin and Bloom ones. But yeah, if there's a cute cover, I'm gonna buy it. I hope to eventually just acquire all the different copies. That would be fun.
And that one has flowers on the cover. So if you're looking for a floral themed book, I definitely recommend that one as well.
Yes, if that's. Have you read Pride and Prejudice before?
Yes.
Do you like it?
I do. I don't reread it as much as you do.
Yeah.
But it is one that I will always try to pick up a retelling of it. So like when you recommended Pride and Premeditation, that was one I grabbed just because I feel like it was one of the first waves of feminism for the time. It's just like, and you probably don't think of it that way maybe, but I felt like it really did a great job of showing how strong women can be. And I just, I love the classics. I was an English major, so I've read
Hmm.
as many as I could probably get my hands on at this point.
There you go. The kids always ask me what my favorite book is. Like they want to check out my favorite book, and I'm like, I don't think you would like it. Like it's very wordy, it's very like old-timey. We do have a few shorter versions that are more made for kids, so I definitely point those out, but I don't think most children like Pride and Prejudice.
Right. I think there's a certain maturity needed for the classics in general, but
Yeah.
I do like that there's now a lot of graphic novels or manga classics that come out
Yes.
that makes it more,
Accessible.
palatable. Yes,
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure. Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
so fun.
love
Well,
it.
you do have one that the kids are going to be interested in for your next pick. Tell us about that one.
So I'm doing Dragons in a Bag by Zetta Elliott. When I was researching which books I was going to read for the mother's theme, this one just kept coming up, and it's one that I've had on my TBR for a while. If you've ever seen the cover, it's just precious. I have it in my middle school library. It is the first in a middle grade series. There are five out so far. And this one follows a mom who is dealing with a lot of financial issues and needs someone to watch her son for the day so she can go to court and deal with some stuff. So she ends up dropping her son off with a family friend. He actually thinks it's his grandma. It's not. She turns out to be a witch. And when she was dealing with the mom, when the mom was younger, the mom wanted nothing to do with magic. She wanted to live a normal life. So she did not follow up on the apprenticeship that the witch offered her. But the son is very interested. And so when an opportunity arises for them to go to a magical realm to transport some baby dragons in a bag, because there's not enough magic on Earth, he jumps at the opportunity. But he learns two rules about the dragons. You don't let them out of the bag and you don't feed them sweets. And of course, he breaks those rules. And with the help of some new friends, they end up trying to track down these dragons and deliver them safely to their new magical realm. So this one was just precious. It is a quick read, very accessible, has good diversity. It is a would fit for the fantasy square or a series on the bingo card.
I've seen that cover before, and it's a very cute cover. Like the
Yes.
little bag and the dragons.
Yes.
So adorable.
Yes, they are.
All right, my second pick is also middle grade. It's called Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. This is a really good example of a well done scary book for middle grade. They love scary books, but they're also, 12 years old or younger. So you don't want to go full on scary with them. But I think this is a really good example of a well done middle grade scary book. This is the first book in a quartet that is completely finished. So if you're interested in a finished series, this is great. I picked this one this week because our main character is still really struggling with the loss of her mother when she finds herself in this very interesting situation of the book. She's found this book. I cannot remember where she finds it exactly. I think it's like down by the river. Somebody was going to burn it or destroy it. So she took it, she started reading it, and these chaotic things start happening in the book, and then chaotic things start happening in real life. And in the thick of it, her mother's old watch that she still wears all the time starts flashing the word run. And she decides she's going to listen to who she thinks is her mom. And though we never really meet the mom, she's kind of a heavy presence with our main character throughout the whole quartet, and it's very interesting. But yeah, this is super spooky. Sometimes I got even a little spooked out, and I think the kids will really enjoy this one if you recommend it to them. This will work for a middle grade. This could work for like thriller mystery. This could work for series, and uh, some content warnings would be, loss of a loved one, and I think that's really the main content warning I would give. But yeah, I really love this series. It's so much fun.
Me too. This is one of those series, Catherine Arden, Lindsay Curry, these peculiar something on Shady Street, all of those new middle grade thrillers and mysteries that are coming out are books that our kids are gravitating towards that aren't quite ready for the young adult scary genre. So I love that they're making it like set now. And because, we read Goosebumps growing up, and that was our version of scary middle grade. So I love that these are more set now and with topics that are very important to our students. I love that they're set in different uh seasons too.
Yes. Yes, this one takes place in the fall. My favorite one of the four, I think, is the second one, which takes place in the winter. They're trapped in a ski lodge, which is like my favorite setup ever, where you get secluded in a cold setting. I love it. So that one was definitely my favorite. And then the last one had clowns on the cover. So I know that's a big scary thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, the cover's terrifying. The content is terrifying. I barely got through that one. The first one I read was Dead Voices, which is
Oh, yeah,
Rachel's
yeah.
favorite one. And so I didn't even read Small Spaces first. So I kind of missed out on that and ended up going back and reading them. But you can read them out of order, but it really sets the series up with the first one. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
would definitely recommend starting with the first one. And I tried to read them like with the seasons, but I was reading them as they come out. I could not wait till the season. So when I reread them now, that's what I do. I try to read them with the seasons, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
And those are our recommendations for the week. If you would like to share your recommendations or request a theme to be highlighted in a future show, reach out on social media at Books and Bingos or email us at booksandbingos@gmail.com. If you're a librarian or an educator and would like to be a guest host on a future episode, head over to tiny.cc/books and bingos and fill out the guest host form. Thanks for listening, and join us again next week for Asian American and Pacific Islander representation suggestions. Happy reading!